Right now you're thinking, this is the most poorly produced video on CAGED I've ever seen. And you're probably right. But I guarantee you that if you stick to this video, by the end of it, you'll be able to find any chord across the fretboard using CAGED. So here you have the 5 shapes of CAGED. Open chords, right? C, A, G, E, D. C, A, G, E, D. Your open chord shapes. And I marked those dots in red, and you'll understand why in a second. I'm going to cut these shapes up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut my shapes, and here I have my C, right? My C open chord. Here I have my A. Here I have my G. Here I have my D, my E, and here I have my D. And why did I cut them up? Let's say you want to find all your C chords across the fretboard. Okay, so I'm going to find a C note on the 5th string. I'm going to do it on this one over here. So I always start on the 5th string because the 5th string starts in A. And that's very easy because the alphabet starts in A and the 5th string starts in A. So I just got to go A, B, C. And here is my C note. Now, here's the game we're going to play. If I find that note and I know that's a C, I can come to my little cut up shapes and place that right there. And that's going to be my first C chord. Now, what is going to be my next C chord? Well, I just find that's on the 5th string. I find another red one on the 5th string, and I just place it right there. So now I have 2 ways to play a C chord. I had this chord shape, a C shape, and this chord shape, an A shape, right? If you don't understand why this happens, imagine you've got your A right here. I'm going to do it right here, right? This note is an A, remember? Now, if I start moving this note up the fretboard, it's going to become other notes. Well, if one note, this one over here, became another note, one chord is going to become another chord, correct? That's how it works. Okay, so coming back to this. You want to be able to find all your C notes on the fretboard. And you'll see my fretboard is divided into thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin. And why is that? Well, guitar, you can divide guitar into 3 pairs of strings. So what I mean with this is 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 pairs. Whatever you find on the thickest pair of strings, on the strings 6 and 5, you'll find on strings 4 and 3, only 2 frets apart from that. So what I'm going to do is move that note 2 frets higher in pitch and jump to that set of strings. Now, on which string am I? On the thin string or on the thick string? I'm on the thin string, so I count 1, 2, and that also is going to be a C note. Remember, we're looking for C notes right now, okay? So how do I find that note on the thinnest pair of strings? Well, from there I have to jump 3 frets. 1, 2, 3, and I'm on the thin string, so I'm going to place that on the thin string. And just like that, you know all your notes on these set of strings, right? So how do I find them on the thick strings? Well, if you regularly tune your guitar, you'll know that the 1st string and the 6th string share notes. So I can just bounce that note like that, and now I'm on the thick string of each pair. So to go to the middle pair of strings, I go 1, 2, bounce that to the thick string, and to go to the thinnest pair of strings, strings 1 and 2, I jump 3 frets. 1, 2, 3, thick string. And just like that, you know all your C notes on the fretboard. So what does this have to do with this? Well, see the red dots? I just got to pair up these diagrams with this right now. So for example, look at this and this, this and this. I'm just going to throw that there. And this is another way to play a C chord. Huh. Awesome. So let's do another one. All right, let's try this one. Does it match up? It does. So this is another way to play a C chord. Let's try the last one. Where does this one? Does it go here? No. Does it go here? No. It goes here, right? So just like that, you have another way to play a C chord. Now, it's used in a D shape, hence the word cage. Remember? C-A-G-E-D. So what CAGED is really telling you is not what chord to use, is what shape of chord comes next in the sequence. First, I'm going to use a C shape, an open position. Cool, awesome. Then my next shape following CAGED is going to be an A shape. Awesome. See that A shape over here? Okay. Then my next shape following CAGED is going to be a G shape. My next shape following CAGED is going to be an E shape. And my next shape following CAGED is going to be a D shape. See? C, A, G. This has to go like this. Sorry for that. E, D. How cool is that? Okay, so let's do it for any other note. Let's say you want to find all B chords, for example, right? So we start in A, 2 frets up from there. That's B. Awesome. So now we're going to find all B notes across the fretboard. We're on the strings 6 and 5. To jump to strings 4 and 3, we go 2 frets, 1, 2. We're on the thin string. That's another B note. Okay, so now I want to jump to strings 2 and 1. I jump 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, thin string. Ha! That's another B note. Now you know all those 3 notes across the fretboard. Now this string shares the same note as the 6th string. So I'm just going to pop that there. And now I'm going to do the same thing. To jump to these pairs of strings, it's 2 frets, 1, 2, thick string, just like that. And to jump to these pairs of strings, strings 2 and 1, it's 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, just like that. Now you know all your B notes across the entire fretboard. So now let's start pairing up stuff. Like, for example, I'm going to choose this one over here. That's a B chord right there, using an E shape. Now, logically, following CAGED, I'm on an E shape. The next one is going to be a D shape. Let's see if that is true. Huh, it is true. Check it out. That's a D shape, and this is an E shape. Okay, my papers are moving. Okay, so let's move that way now. So we're on E. Moving backward, we're going to find a G shape. Is that going to be true? Yes, it is going to be true. There's my G shape. And if I keep moving that way, I should find, hey, an A shape right there. We're missing a string over there. So there's my A shape. Now, what happens if I want to go this way from CAGED? Well, CAGED starts again. Easy peasy. So my next shape after D is going to be C. And that's another way to play a B chord. Did you find this helpful? If you like logic instead of complicated theory jargon, I've got something for you. And it's the Ultimate Guitarist Chord Book. You'll learn everything about chords inside of this book. But here's what's cool. So check out this diagram. You can see we've got those red dots, right? But we also have other colors. So what happens with the blue, for example? Well, to turn a D major into a D minor, you just have to move the blue dot. So by coloring chords with colors, instead of telling you this is a fifth, this is a one, this is a third, this is a flat third, you can very quickly see that the 5 shapes we discovered can be turned into minor chords just by moving the blue note. But that blue note also creates a sus4 and also creates a sus2. Let me show you. So for example, on this chapter of chord theory, we've got that blue note, remember? And we're going to move it 2 frets down to create a sus2, 1 fret up to create a sus4. How easy is that? In this little book, you'll discover how to create 7th chords, major 7s, sus2s, augmented, diminished. You'll learn about CAGED, about triads. It's 150 pages. Go and check it out if you're interested in learning without complicated theory jargon. This book is the one you want. I'll see you inside.